Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Object 261, the Tier 10 Soviet SPG, located on the north spawn of Serene Coast. It's under the command of talon1958. First of the replays for this week. This one came in on Sunday after the weekend, so I think technically it counts as a replay towards this week rather than last week. And I think that, well, it may have been Angelina who got the weekend lie-in, in which case, Talon, yes, you're going to have to up your game if you want to get another lie-in. I'm pretty sure Angelina did get a much better replay than you. She got a second class last week, and Talon only got a third class. Rounds out with an AMX-30, he's sitting in the corner. That was a good shot. Very difficult target to hit because he was behind the rock at the time. He's sitting kind of out in the open, but there are a few bushes between him and the enemy at the moment. Just trying to get a better angle at the moment as well. He is right in that corner. Oh, enemy spotted. Now T-30 is trying to use the rocks for cover. Okay, stopped. And Charpy 2-4. What is he doing? Rounds out. Yep, bit of splash from that one for 150. As I may have mentioned before, 18cm naval gun, 800 alpha, 45mm of pen. It's one of three varieties of Arty that they actually put forward for the 261. Both of the others being 152mm guns instead of the 18cm. Rounds out the MX-M4. Just misses his rear and explodes a little way behind him. Almost loaded. Reload time by the book is 30.68 seconds, and Talon has something like 25.14. There you go. Shows it exactly. Rounds out. Again, he just misses the rear of the enemy tank. Explodes against the rocks. Okay, he's going to change position altogether. Now, I do like this position a lot further on, just behind the cap area, because it means you can fire in both directions. So if you haven't got a good target on the far west side of the map, you can actually fire on the east side of the map. Of course, when you go through this fence, you do leave a trace as where you've actually been, but it doesn't say if you've gone any further. Okay. There are a few enemy targets this side, and he can certainly hurt them, and they're stuck because they can't move through that pass unless they've actually managed to defeat the guys defending it, and that means he can put a round in there. And he stuns the IS-7 with that shot. But we appear to have a couple of tank destroyers nearby actually defending that position at the moment. Okay, something he is doing is he's telling the teammates that he is attacking a specific tank. That's the technique I do regularly to tell the enemy, or tell my teammates what I'm after next, and then they know that an Arty round is about to hit. Now he's turning his gun around because an enemy tank has suddenly popped up out of the dip. It's an STB-1. He can get around into him at the moment, but he's not loaded, and the STB-1 is on fire, and it looks like he's going to go. And he did go, but it was actually to a shot in the end. The T-30 finished him off. Now we're aiming for a K91. He's dialing in. Almost ready. Guy's going down. Rounds out. Well, a splash for 99. At least it's something. Now you notice he's not using the normal method to actually aim. He's actually scrolling the mouse again. Yeah, I think he's got into bad habits. It can happen. But obviously it's much quicker. If you want to aim at an enemy target, just hold down that control key and then put the cursor over the minimap quickly, click on the right click on the thing you want to see, and the view goes there straight away. Of course, I was taught that technique by one of the What Arty Noobs members, because I wasn't the one who found it originally. It's Captain Ashstorm, we remember, who told me how to do it, and once I knew how to do it, then yes, it does save a huge amount of time on making sure that you're aimed in on the right target. We're only one up on the enemy. Got a T-30 over this side of the map as well. This is the same one we saw earlier in the game. Rounds out. He's firing blind. Hits the rock face instead, unfortunately. So he's not having a lot of luck in this game so far. Only 252 hit points, but of several hits. Now pushing the enemy back. One of the enemy tanks, an AMX-30, suddenly made it to where we were located before. I think he turned up hoping that he would be able to find an Arty to kill, but he suddenly realised there's no Arty at home. Yet they've all migrated south for the winter. Yeah, I'd expect that he would probably, well, he's started capping, but I think he's looking for Talon. He's gone through the gap and he's come out the south side of the village. The scores are even, but yep, he's definitely hunting Talon, and Talon himself is making his way towards the enemy camp, and if he actually gets in there, then he might present a serious problem to the enemy. He didn't turn right there, he actually is keeping going. In fact, I have the feeling he might actually be after the enemy Arty. And the enemy have started capping. Okay, can't get a shot on the GWE, but one of their tanks is about to come around the corner, and then when he does, we can hit him, or we can fire at the enemy cap if he goes through the gap. Okay, enemy tank is located. Has he been spotted? Not. Yes, he has now. So he needs to either fire or he might get shot. Unfortunately, he did get shot. He did fire, and he got a little bit of damage off the K91 PT, but he needs to reload. He's lost a fair amount of hit points. The enemy Arty can't get at him. There's no way that that GWE or the object 261 on the enemy team are going to be able to do anything. But he does need to get a shot in on the cap, on his own cap, to try and get a reset. Now, there's a pretty good chance that the T-30 on our team will work out where the enemy is. In fact, he's found a Ture 4 in the dip. And it's a very popular place to go because you can go head down in that position, and it's very difficult for our teammates to hit you. Rounds out for a reset. Yes! That was a full reset. 938 was the amount of damage overall. Well, that was the stun assist actually that he managed to get. He got 369 from his shot, and that's very, very welcome indeed. I think he got enough reset points there to earn himself a defender medal, and although there's only 3 left on our team, the enemy Ture 4 has gone, which now means the scores are even. But I think our team tends to have more hit points. Yes, you're like 1,000 hit points more than the enemy. And as Talon's actually lost a considerable amount of it himself, it must be the tanks actually have most of the hit points, not him. He's only got 30% of his hit points left, but the other tanks on his team, well, he's got an Object 268 version 5 and a T-30. And both of those guys have got 3 kills apiece, so they're well practiced. Whereas the enemy, well, their GWE probably has 100% of his health. The AMX-30's got 3 kills, but the Striv 1030 only has 1. And remember, that AMX-30 is the one who came round here hunting for him. Yep, he turned up at our cap area looking for an Arty to kill. There was no one at home because Talon had moved. He knows where his W key is, so he knows how to go forward towards the enemy. And they were mentioning that in the live stream on Honest Gaming yesterday, that a game was actually drawn because one of the Arty did know how to use his W key, and the other Arty on the team didn't know how to use it, and unfortunately didn't go into the cap. And as a result, they ended up with a draw because both teams were capping at the same time. If the other Arty had actually gone into the cap, then they would have won. So it just goes to show knowing where to go does help. Well, there's the AMX-30 and he's very close. Talon can get some hit points here. Lines him up, fires. That probably splashed him, but it does let him know where Talon is. The enemy strip just died. Talon's going to change position again, and a good job because that AMX might try to come forward trying to find him, but if he does, he's going to walk straight in that T30, and if he can find a better firing position to support them, then that would be helpful. There's also that GWE100 out there, and he probably is around this way, so he might get a shotgun if he can take that guy out. And the way with shotguns, the best way with shotguns, is if you've got a tank or an Arty that takes a long time to dial in, drive close, get as close as you can, and then blast them at such short range that you can't possibly miss. Okay, well, our T30 just fell to the AMX-30, and our 268 version 5 has got about half hit points, and we haven't found our GWE yet. It could be that he's down in the dip. Okay, 268 version 5 is going towards the cap, and Talon's going to aim. If we can get sight, I'd aim pre-ahead of the area where the 268-5 is going to be looking. Just on that corner is where he'll be looking. So you want to be aiming in that direction there. He's marked to tell. There's the enemy AMX. Now, stun him. Hit him. Hit him now. Get the shot. That's it. Yes! He makes him a one shot. The 268 version 5 can now get a kill shot with one round. And we're quickly reloading. Talon can do it again. Keeps whittling away his hit points. That AMX-30 is not going to be any use. And once the GWE is the last one, there's the AMX. Talon's almost loaded. Go for it. You can do it, Talon. Rounds out. Looks good. Yes, more hit points. Even more that he's a one shot. The enemy Arty's trying to hit our Object 268 version 5, but he can't. And the AMX-30 is now hopeless. And he's wiped out. Down to Talon that one, because although the 268 version 5 got the kill shot, it was Talon who disabled him and made him an easy kill. So fantastic play there by Talon. Now it's only a matter of hunting down that GWE, and at this moment I'd be going down into the dip and having a quick look in there and see if he's found himself down below. Yep, Talon's doing the same. We're thinking along the same lines. Just have a quick look, see if he's in there. Got 2 minutes 11 seconds. We are headed towards the enemy cap, but oh no, he's drowned himself. What a loser. Well, that game ended with the Arty on the enemy team drowning himself. A real loser move, that one. You shouldn't try to do that. You should always fight it out. Get some extra hit points. If you're going to die, you're going to die, but you might have a chance of winning the game if you can actually be clever enough to actually ambush the enemy, get some more hit points off them, and then try and do it repeatedly again. People have won in Arties in many games, even though they were the last one left alive, and they were against tanks, even medium tanks. I myself have done that. I've taken out an enemy medium with my Arty right at the end of the game and won the game for the team. Well, that was a third-class tanker for talon1958 in the Object 261. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 6. And he did get a defender medal for getting at least 70 defense points to reset the cap and win them the game eventually with those 2 lovely shots on the AMX-30. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, you can see he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to that AMX-30 on the enemy team. It was actually quite good, wasn't he? 4,685 hit points, but he didn't get a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. The second highest damage in the game went to the Object 268 version 5, who did survive the game. He got 3,995. And the third highest damage in the game went to the GWE100 on the enemy team. Can't hit squat. Well, I'm afraid you may have got the third highest damage, but you showed yourself up by doing what you did. You could have earned more hit points if only you tried harder. You don't drown yourself. You keep fighting until the bitter end, even if you have to make it a hilarity kill by a comedy kill, by killing the enemy or killing yourself in the process by ramming them to death. That's the best way to go down. Just go for the comedic value out of it. Anyway, we can see that Talon did survive the battle. He got 1,229 hit points, and of course he had the honour of getting a Defender Medal, as well as the 268 ending up with the Pascucci's, because he killed both enemy, or two enemy Arty, not both enemy Arty, because there was 3 Arty in the game on each side. So he got the Pascucci's, but it was Talon who reset the cap and allowed them to win the game. When it came to kills, well, the highest number of kills was actually shared between the 268 version 5, the T30 on Talon's team, and the AMX30 on the enemy team. And when it came to Talon, he didn't get any kills at all, but of course he got those resets, and that's more important. When it came to base XP, he's a little higher up the table, but he only got 632. The high scorer was the T30 with 979, the 944 for the Object 268 version 5, and 920 for the Tortoise, who put up a good fight on the peninsula. Talon fired 13 rounds, so he didn't get through all of his ammunition. He still had 7 rounds left. 2 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but he did get 11 splashed, including the important ones right at the end of the game, and of course the reset. By disabling that AMX30, he made him a prime target for the 268 version 5, and I'm sure that player was happy about that. 1,229 hit points of damage, of which 1,151 were at more than 300 meters, so there was some close range shots. In fact, there was close range shots on that K91, who promptly put a round back into Talon. He received 1 hit, it did penetrate, yep. 5 enemy vehicles were damaged, none were killed, but he did get 1,185 hit points as stun assist of 11 stuns, and he got 85 defense points, and that was important because that saved the game at that point in the battle. 34,787 credits for the battle, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he actually made a small loss of 9,684 credits. 5 bonds because it was tier 10. 948 XP times 2 for the first victory, 1,896 experience points altogether. He says, let's drive all around the map. Well, he was. But you see, Arty players who know how to use their W key actually do have advantages. They can find angles on the enemy that the enemy doesn't really want them to have. And they can do what Talon did right at the end of that game, was to finish off, or not finish him off, but to disable the object AMX30 on the enemy team, which just made him such an easy kill. So well done to Talon, nicely played. Only a 3rd class, well, there wasn't a lot of stun assist out of that one, and not a lot of damage, but you did get the damage when it was important. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.